everybody. It's Dirty Thursday, brought to you by River City Speedway. NLRA late model pilot Jesse Teunis going to be on the show today, driver of the number 70 car. And again, one of our other sponsors on Dirty Thursday, Northwest Tire here in Grand Forks. Chad couldn't make it in again today. He claims he's working. But I tell you what, for tires, for tire work on your vehicle and more, visit Northwest Tire on Gateway Drive, North Dakota's largest tire dealer. Family owned for over 40 years, from big to small. Northwest Tire brand, they do it all. Find all the big name brands, Toyo, Nokian, Bridgestone, Firestone, and more. Call 701-780-8473 to schedule your next appointment. Northwest Tire on Gateway Drive in Grand Forks, helping you get the perfect tires for whatever you drive. Tell you what, if you have any questions or comments for Jesse, myself, we also got quite the audience, the gallery, if you will, in the background. Shane and Brad are here along with Robin and Paul, the producer. We got a full studio, but any questions or comments, 701-213-0863 is our number, 701-213-0863. And of course, it is time for your daily segment called Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. Here we go. I might even bust out two of them today. Jokes My Neighbor Tells Me. How do you know Adam was Canadian? How do you know Adam was Canadian? Well, who else could stand beside a naked woman and be tempted by fruit? You guys didn't like that one, did you? Okay, how about this one? What do urine samples and Canadian beer have in common? Urine samples and Canadian beer. The taste. Hey, what could I say? We're Bush Latte drinkers anyway. Before we get going here, I do want to wish happy birthday to Tommy Corcoran. We were trying to figure out how old Tommy is. He's either like 89 or he started racing when he was 4. We haven't quite decided yet, but happy birthday, Tom. Jamie Spicer, happy birthday. If you're in the drum today, make sure you wish him a happy birthday. And you know what? Jimmy Valandri will probably be in there in a little while too, so make sure you wish him a happy birthday. Tonight, NLRA guys down at Norman County Raceway in Ada. Tomorrow night, River City Speedway. We got the Lightning Sprints, the Wissota late models, the Midwest Mods, the Street Stocks, and the non-wing sprints. On to Saturday, Devil's Lake, Pure Stocks, Wissota Street Stocks, Midwest Mods, non-wing sprints in the trophy class. Saturday, up in Greenbush, NLRA heads north with the late models. They got the mods, the streets, the Pure Stocks, and the 4-cylinders. And Sunday, Buffalo River Fan Appreciation Night. I'm not quite sure what all they will be racing up in Buffalo River. Nick Curtis, Al Bean, good morning. They are already watching the show. There we go. And I do want to mention, too, the water truck, when you see that at River City Speedway, make sure you check it out. It's pretty cool. Here we go. Welcome our guest, Jesse Teunis. How are you, man? If I turn this up, that'll help.
Yeah.
We made the trip from Canada last night. Yep. You got an eye issue going on. What's happening with you there?
I just got a little sty in it last week, and then it's been healing up over the weekend and during the week, so it's been getting better.
Now, did you miss any races because of it?
About half of them.
Really? Yeah. It took right over my head. About half of them. But you're good to go for tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. You hail from Canada. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Just a regular guy, works a regular job, 5:30 till 2. Gives me the time to come down here every Friday, race River City Speedway, and then follow the NLRA tour, and then, just have a bunch of fun doing it.
So what do you do up there?
Heavy truck mechanic.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. You a hockey fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, who's your favorite team?
Well, it's got to be the Jets.
Oh, I was afraid you were going to say that. How about football? Are you a Winnipeg Blue Bomber fan?
Well, the last couple of years, just kind of watch the finals. That's about it. I don't pay too much to football.
Yeah. Well, it's not real. I'm just saying that because I know the Canadians I hang around with up there that are watching the show, they're going to be all upset with me. But also, I thought I saw somewhere, it might have been, I was creeping you on social media. Are you a Scotty Bloomquist fan?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
A little bit? Have you ever got to meet him?
Once when we were in Volusia.
Mm-hmm. Was he a nice guy?
Yeah, he seemed like a pretty all right guy. So.
Yeah, the story is a couple of years ago we were going to have him and Ricky both were supposed to be on the show, and they all of a sudden couldn't because they weren't here or something. But God darn it, he was over having lunch with Shane Romling, so I know he was here. So I just had to get that one in there. All right, now how did you get your start in racing?
I got it with my dad used to race in Darrow's way back in the day, early 90s. And then I've been going to the racetrack when I was a little kid, sitting in the stands, cheering him on and whatnot. And then eventually my brother took over the car, and then we started racing Thursdays weekly at home. And then just eventually I helped him, and then I was like, I want to drive. And then me and my dad built my very first car together in the garage on 4 jack stands, welded all the pipes and everything in. And
Really?
Yeah. And then
And what class was that first car that you ran, that you built?
street stocks.
It was a streeter, huh?
Yeah.
And how did you do in that car?
The first 3 years were a struggle just because just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And try to figure out how to drive it and all that. And then once we kind of got going, then it's like, okay, now we need an actual streeter built off a jig and everything. So I went and bought a nice player car and then had a lot of success in that car, and then only ran that one for about a year, sold it, and then I got the late model.
Now, when you're doing that good in a streeter, is it easy to get rid of it when you're selling to move up to the late model? Or was it, like, oh, boy, I hope I can sell this thing?
Usually the fast ones, they sell pretty
Yeah,
quick.
I was going to say, if you win with it, you're probably going to get rid of it. Now, tell us about your first late model car. I don't know where you got it, who you got it from, did you build it? Tell us about how you transitioned into the late models.
That one I bought off of Scott Greer. It was a '08 Masters built. It came turnkey. It was kind of not really sure what I was looking for, but I was looking at the car, and it was everything advertised as what a late model looked like and should be.
Yeah.
Had all the
Looks
had all the
like
right
one.
parts.
Yeah.
had all the right parts and everything on it, and came with a bunch of spare parts, and it was a good deal. So it was like, okay, he said the price, and then we're backing out of the driveway, and then I think I texted him at the end of the driveway, said sold.
Okay.
And bought it right then and there. So then took my seat and transponder, brought it over there. Mr. Greer's dad Ken put the seat in, put the transponder in. We scaled it with me in it and everything. Just a big help to get started, and then dropped it off one day. We put it in the garage, and it's like, this thing's a little bit bigger than this garage than the last one we were in.
Did it fit?
Barely.
It's one of those things you got to open the door to walk around the car.
Yeah.
It's like me trying to shove my boat in my garage. It's the same thing. Now, have you been with that same late model, or have you moved on?
No, I still have it. It's just I bought a MB Customs a few years ago, just before COVID hit, and then been racing that one ever since. It's just the 2012 MB, and then had lots of help from Brad and Shane over here getting it going, and we're just kind of trying to find a little bit more speed out of it.
You know, we hear a lot of people talk about MBs. Is that kind of the way to go now? Does that seem to be the popular brand or the popular type?
I think so. There's quite a few of them around, right? So there's a bunch of information flowing around, and then if something does happen at the track, and if you're missing that one part particular, at least there's kind of a chance of somebody having it and whatnot if you really need it to get out on the racetrack, because we all want to kind of beat each other on the track, not in the pits, right?
You know, and it's kind of funny because I have the feeling, because I've been talking with Brad since early this morning, and your name popped up, and I was just kind of waiting, but it usually seems to be, if it's anything to do with Brad and the late models here on Dirty Thursday, there's a small entourage that usually comes with, and you guys kind of hang out together quite a bit when you're, getting up onto the race weekends and stuff, don't you?
Yeah, we got a nice little group, and then we just kind of do everything together, right? We help each other with the cars, and he's nice enough to let me keep my car and trailer down here during the week, so it saves me a bunch of money going home and coming back. And no, it's just been a huge help, and it's been keeping it a lot of fun too.
Yeah,
that's the main thing.
Jennifer Pauly says hello, Teunis. So there you go. Number 70. How did you get number 70?
Well, there was when I was younger, my dad brought me out to the back of the garage. There was an old GTO that caught fire, like a Pontiac GTO. The year was a 1970 on it. And he's like, this will be your first car. We'll build this one.
Okay.
And then kind of as time went on, that kind of folded, and we built another car. But I just kind of liked the idea of that one, and there wasn't too many 70s out there.
Yeah. I thought there had to have been a unique story about it, like maybe it was your dad or an uncle or something, but just one of those deals that happened to be on the car and you just stuck with it.
Yeah.
That's kind of a cool story, I guess. Now, when I wanted to know, because during the pandemic, things were so effed up. I mean, when we were doing shows, anybody in Canada, unless you were like this guy over here and, kind of snuck across the border and stayed down here for a year, everything was Zoom. But what did you do during the pandemic, and how bad did it suck for you guys up there?
Oh, it was terrible. I never want to go through anything like that again, because during the summer, this is my one thing that I do during the whole summer. It takes all winter to do it, and then that got taken away. So picked up another expensive sport called golf. Yeah, they don't pay to show up to the course, but you still have a great time.
Whoever says golf is relaxing, I don't know what the hell they're thinking because, I know Mark Dobmeyer calls it whack. I can't pronounce the rest of it because that's about how my golf game is. Whack. But anyway, it is fun.
Yeah.
But when you said you picked up another expensive hobby, golf is pretty expensive, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it can get right up there. I didn't realize a sleeve of balls could be anywhere from like $20 to $50.
Oh yeah. And how long will that sleeve last you in a golf course? Because it sure doesn't last me very long.
Depends on the fairway.
Yeah, it depends on the fairway. Yeah, I just stay away from like the links courses because the fescue kind of gets me every single time. Are you big into points? I mean, I'm looking at points right now. River City Speedway, you're in 8th. NLRA, I think you're 8th in points. Does that make a big difference to you, or do you keep watch on that and you want to keep moving up?
Yeah, I keep my eye on it a little bit here and there. I just don't let it kind of get to me, or the first thing that I think when I get to the racetrack is, okay, I need to finish here or do this or do that. I just think it's just wherever you end up at the end of the race, it's kind of where you're going to end up at the end of the points deal. And it's, I think if you finish consistent top 10s, you'll be a consistent 10th place points guy, either from 10th to 5th or 5th to 1st, somewhere in that range. And you just kind of know where you're going to be ending up.
So at the beginning of the year, do you have like a goal? I want top 10, I want top 15, I want top 5. I mean, it'd be nice to be top 3 or the winner, but do you set goals like that?
Yeah, it'd be nice to get, I always set goals, like to knock out a few top 5s, because there's the late model class right now is just, I think it's the strongest it's ever been.
It's incredible. Yeah.
So each goal, it's just amplified that much, like where it's like, okay, I think I can get a few top 5s. Now it's like, hey, if we can get 1 or 2 here, that'd be really good, and then maybe sneak out a W, that'd be really good. But that's almost
it's hard to do, isn't it?
Well, it's ridiculous. You have to have perfect nights.
Yeah, and I mean, the stars have to align. You have to have the right luck. You got to have the right, the feng shui and all of that stuff. But it's kind of funny because I'm one of those guys. I don't care what the race is. It could be kids racing tricycles around a little dirt track. I'll stop and watch. But when the schedule came out this year, a lot of people say Grand Forks is a sprint car town. A lot of people, you heard a lot of complaining and a lot of bitching and moaning because the sprint cars weren't here as much. But now as I start to get around and talk to all these people, they've all said, but you know what? The late models have been putting on one heck of a show this year. And you kind of nailed it there, Jesse. The late models have been running really good. It's probably the strongest that I can remember seeing them. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's here when the late models are here. I mean, you guys are hauling the mail.
Yeah, every night you can probably pick between 7 cars and one of them's going to win. And then even during the races, you can throw a blanket over the top 3, 5, and then it just changes every lap, right? And then, then you get that one guy that has a good draw, gets a good heat, and then he's up there for the feature that's not normally up there, and then he's having a hell of a time too. So it's always a nice little mixed bag that we got.
Now, Ada tonight, what do you know about that track?
It's a little bit. It's fast. Like it's a lot more straightaway, low bank, brown or a bit of gumbo on there. But it's usually dry when we get there, so it's usually no ripples in it. So usually it's pretty consistent when we get there.
Are you a fan of the high bank? More of a high bank than you are flatter? I know that some people, you're used to River City Speedway now, but I know a lot of people the first time they come here, they're in awe at first. Their first couple of laps are like, wow, they're almost afraid. But then once they get used to it, I mean, a great example was when the IRA guys were here, the first night last year, they didn't fare very well, but they figured it out by night 2. Is there a difference? Do you like a big difference between tracks? Do you prefer the banking or more flat?
I like the River City style racetrack, Greenbush style, Devil's Lake, kind of those style racetracks. I do prefer over the long straightaways, like over like Norman County or Minot or Alex or something like that. Those ones we don't run them so much, so it's kind of hard to figure those ones out.
Sure. The sanctioning bodies now, NLRA is continuing to grow. It's growing all the time. You guys are on the road a lot more now than you used to be. How does that suit you? Are you good with that, getting to see all these different tracks? And the one thing I know, I mean, I get it. It adds expenses to your race team and your cost for the year, but what I like about it is the fact that some of these fans get a chance to see all you NLRA guys that maybe never got to before. So how do you like traveling a little more?
Oh, I love it. Well, I'm set up for it, so I love it. I love every track that we go to, right? Even if I like going to new places as well, right? Because then it just makes you a little bit better, and then new competition, and then the new fans show up. I think we were South Dakota there, and then I handed out every hero card that I had.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was unreal.
That's pretty cool when the kids come up to you and act like you're a rock star, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of just gets you a little warm fuzzy inside. It's
Yeah,
like, okay, it's kind of humbling. Yeah.
We had every year my niece and nephew come down from the Minneapolis St. Paul area, and we get a suite every year for them. But these kids have such a blast going down to the pits afterwards. They can't believe. Well, first their folks couldn't believe that these guys would actually let these little dirty snot-nosed kids sit in their cars and take pictures and all this stuff. And I said, you know what? I said, you could probably ask every one of these guys down here. I bet you 9 out of 10 of them would say, go ahead, jump in the car, take a picture. Are you one of those guys too?
Oh yeah, it's all for
Pretty
the
hard
kids,
to get
right?
a late model car any dirtier on the inside.
Yeah, it's already a little bit got a lot of dirt in there. But yeah, no, if I run out of pictures, or whatever, I'll just let them, hey, you want to go stand by it or hop in it, do whatever. It's all for them too, right? Because they're the future of the sport.
Yeah,
then-
and we used to be that kid.
Yeah.
You know, and these kids go home. I mean, you should have seen these guys. They came home back to our house with a whole bunch of hero cards and stuff, and it was, they couldn't believe it. That's all they talked about was their cards and how much fun they had, and it was probably the first time I've stayed up that late in a long time because I usually haven't been going down there much. We're going to take a little break here. We will be back. Stay tuned. NLRA late model driver Jesse Teunis is with us in the studio today. Talk a little bit about Valvoline instant oil change right now. You know, when you're in a hurry like we always are all the time, go there for an oil change like I do. I don't like to wait in line for 3-4 hours to get my oil changed. I go to Valvoline Instant Oil Change. I'm usually in and out of there in 20 minutes. I was there 2 weeks ago, pulled up to an open door. They pulled me right in. I didn't even get out of my truck. I was in and out of there that quick. They also do tranny and coolant flushes. They'll rotate your tires. They'll check your battery. When you're getting your oil changed, you're also going to top off your fluids. Do the tires, battery, lights, wipers, your cabin air filter. If you're a fleet owner, they'll give you discounts. If you're in the military, you'll get a discount. They can text and email invoices and coupons. And here's the real cool thing. If you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you, they'll take $10 off your oil change, all right? They're open Monday through Saturday, no appointment needed. They will pick up and deliver if you live in Grand Forks. For a complete oil change and more, check them out. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, 3325 South 38th Street. Make sure you tell them Grand Forks Best Source sent you. Been looking at, I see Shane was over there looking at a bottle of Intimidator polish that we've got now. I tell you what, give your toys and holler the buff look without the buffer. Check out Intimidator polish if you can get your hands on it. You can see the link on gfbestsource.com. Dirty Thursday brought to you by River City Speedway. NLRA late model driver Jesse Teunis, the number 70 car Canadian guy in the show today. Is there anybody, I like asking these kind of questions because you can see the wiggle factor or the pucker factor in people when they're on their face when I ask them this. But is there anybody? One thing that is, and I'm thinking about NASCAR now, and you see a lot of social media about guys, you know, flapping their lips and arguing and fighting in the pits and calling each other names. Has that ever happened to you? Is there anybody you won't park next to in the pits, and you don't have to say names if you don't want to?
No, I think I get along pretty well with pretty much a lot of the people in the pits. I don't have a problem pitting up against anybody or hanging out with anybody. Go to whoever's trailer, have a beer there, and everyone's more than welcome to come to mine, have a beer. And then I don't think I've had too many incidents where it's been escalated to a point where just can't stand somebody.
So what do you think about, and I know it's way easier said than done, but if you could do like a 12-hour rule or something, because we've seen it enough. Somebody doesn't like something and they get in particular guy's face, whether it be a track promoter, a flagman, or whatever. And then once things settle down, and I'm pretty sure that this has happened, where they go, wow, I kind of made a fool of myself there. I kind of embarrassed myself a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Are you one of those guys? You don't want to be that guy.
No, I don't want to go stomping around the pits looking for trouble or escalate a situation that doesn't need to be escalated. I usually try to, if there's a video or something that I can watch just to get a replay or a different view of it, see if I'm in the wrong or in the right or any different or anything, and try to just calm down a little bit, either fix what needs to be fixed, focus on that, and then go through it, and then either go talk to the guy or whoever, and then, but usually kind of after the after the race there, I just kind of look at the car and then get changed and either put it in the box right away or fix it or just try to keep a level head about it.
Do you guys, and I haven't heard a lot about this, who did I talk to recently? Tech. When you go through tech, have you ever had any issues?
No, not through tech. No.
And what do they do? Because I don't know if I've ever asked this question before on this show, but do all the cars get teched? Is it the top 3, top 5, or how does that work?
I think it's just depending. I think usually the top 5, I think they just mainly check deck height or chip. Weight, and then tires. I think I've never even seen a tire sample get taken, so it's just kind of just easy things in these cars because the rules are kind of wide open, so there's not really much of a box you can really cheat in without actually like physically taking a part and sending it in or something.
So can somebody file an official complaint? Say, I think the number 99, and I'm just throwing numbers out there. I think the number 99 is cheating. Can you do that? And what all is involved with that? Because I would imagine if you accuse somebody of cheating, I would imagine they got to tear down however much of the motor. And then if they didn't, I mean, who's got to pay for that? Who takes care of that? And do you even know how that works? Because I guess I've never heard of it really happening around here.
Yeah, but with the streeter, I've been torn down in Morden at ALH Speedway. So I think the process was the guy that wants to protest the car hands the track official whatever amount of money it is to go
to have it done,
tear him down or whatever, and then he has the driver in question has to finish top 5, and then the driver, I believe, protesting has to finish top 5 as well.
Okay.
So there's a couple of situations that need to happen for it to be done in.
We do have a watcher, Ryan Corbin, saying it's been a while since he's made tech area.
Yeah, he's not wrong on
See
that.
these guys up there, they're pointing up there looking at it. When we catfish tournaments, we have a polygraph. It's so easy to cheat. You're out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you can cheat. So what they do is a top 5 or whatever, they'll random draw for a polygraph test. I have been drawn for the polygraph. But if you accuse somebody of cheating, they'll say, okay, you put up the $500 that it costs for the polygraph. If you are right and they did cheat, we will cover it. But if they did not cheat and they passed the polygraph, that $500 is coming out of your pocket. And I mean, there's got to be a way. Otherwise, people are just going to say, well, he cheated because they beat me. And it's got to come to an end somehow.
Yeah. It's just the guys that are always accusing the other guys of cheating aren't putting the work into into the operation or the car or whatnot. They're always thinking the guy's beating them every week or cheating.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're putting more hours in the garage and then trying to get their cars faster.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize too. Okay, let's go through a typical week with you, Jesse. Okay, you say if you're only running one night, you're running Friday. Tell us about the rest of your week because you hit it right on the head. You can tell who the guys are that do the work in the shop, that work on the cars. You don't just load it up in the trailer, fill it up with gas, and unload it again next week. Tell us how a typical week goes for you.
So when I bring the car home, Sunday usually, because we hang out Saturday or whatever. So Sunday, either go home, relax for the day, or I'll unload the car, wash everything, wash the car top to bottom, wash all the tires, let it dry. Then the next night, pull the tires off, lube it up, nut bolt it, kind of just go through everything that way. And then the Wednesday would be, do tires, fuel, make sure the battery's charged up. And then if want to try something, usually just pull the shocks off, put them on the spring smasher, just make sure everything's kind of in order in that way. And then that's about it. Load it up on Thursday night and then head to the track Friday.
Tires are such a big issue. Is it an issue for you NLRA guys too?
No, I don't think tires have been too big of a deal this year. Haven't really gotten a chance to buy too many of them, but still.
Not burning through them like crazy.
No, just haven't been really running where I want to be running right now. So just and usually when the car does get a good run, something major breaks on it, so I got to take the money, put it towards that.
Okay.
Try to keep it rolling.
Now you talk about doing the shop work during the week. Are you on your own, or do you have somebody helping you out?
Mom and Dad usually come by on the Monday or Tuesday just to kind of help out with just lubing the car, greasing it, unbolting it, and then girlfriend, she'll come by Wednesday or something when she's not up north working, and then try to help her out with the car and then kind of explain what's kind of going on with the suspension and what's what. And she's getting into it and learning lots, and then she's been enjoying every time she's come to the racetrack. So it's been a lot of fun that way. And
now, do any of these people come on the road with you?
Michelle does, yeah.
Okay. Is she going to be here this weekend?
She'll be in Greenbush Saturday.
Oh, cool. Well, I suppose that's not that far of a drive for you guys.
No, and then my brother's coming down, so she's hopping in with them, and then
Oh,
she'll
okay.
come down. So
So do you have, how many different racetracks have you raced?
lots.
Okay. Do you have a favorite track?
Yeah, I have a couple favorite tracks. It'd be probably River Cities, Greenbush, and then Lisbon.
Okay, because that's like me. I was in the radio business for 40-some years, and people are saying, okay, what's your favorite band? Well, I don't have one.
Yeah,
I could probably name my top 5 that I would throw in there. But and speaking of that, back in the day, I've said this story before. We used to listen to a lot of Canadian music, and we used to have it smuggled across the border. But I mean, we're talking old, April Wine, which we've all heard of, and things like that. But we're talking like Rabbit, Queen City Kids. I don't know. You probably don't even know any of these old bands. But do you have a favorite Canadian band?
Probably Tim Hicks, country.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think of this new the new country song everybody's talking about?
The Jason Aldean song.
Yeah.
Wow, until someone points out something that's wrong with it, I don't see what's wrong with it.
Exactly. We did a show on Tuesday about it, about lyrics in rap songs.
Oh, they're way worse.
That nobody seems to have a problem with, but he's showing real video of real news footage of things happening, and you got all these people whining about, oh boy. In fact, CMT pulled it off. Country Music TV pulled the video off their channel. So then Blake Sheldon had a $30 million deal going with CMT for some big thing they were going to do, and he said, screw you. He's my friend. I'm not doing it. He backed out. Well, now CMT fired their program director. So they're bringing somebody else in, some new young gun, they say. But really what that means is they're just bringing in somebody that's a hell of a lot cheaper to pay. But anyway, it's good that he's back on, and I think that's kind of crap. We talk about favorite tracks. Do you have a dream track that you would just give anything to go race?
I'd love to go to Fairbury.
Mm-hmm. Where is that?
Fairbury, Illinois.
Okay.
Their Falls weekend is this weekend. The 2-day show there. Big show, and just watch a bunch of YouTube videos from there, and then it just looks like a fantastic place and a good time to be at.
Yeah. How far of a drive is that from here?
That's 14 hours.
Oh, that's all?
Yeah.
You can make that happen?
Yeah, 14 one way.
14 one way. You always going to be a dirt guy, but does asphalt has it ever tickled your fancy?
No, not really. Like, there's some cool things about it, but it's just not into it.
Are you one of those guys? I like I said, I'll watch any kind of racing, but I still think asphalt's for getting to the racetrack and dirt is for racing. But that's for another show. All right. You got sponsors. I know you do. Who do you want to thank?
I got to thank Grand Prix Amusements, Airport Motor Inn, Hood's Excavating, Keewatin Truck Service, Emery Demolition, Cousins Oil and Lubricants, Performance Auto Canada, S&S Transport, Corners Quickly Racing Engines, Prairie Performance and Detail, hang on, top of my head here, Fix It Right Refrigeration, General Signs, and then Keewatin Truck Service.
All right. Have you had a favorite night if you could think of your whole racing career?
It would be probably Morden for my very first win, getting to run door to door with my brother. We're probably within, I think, 2/10 or like a 10th.
Oh, really?
Line. Yeah, just nicked him at the line there, and that was probably my favorite day.
I bet you that would be a lot of fun. Does he still race?
Yeah, he's in a modified.
Okay. Oh, yeah. He's been here this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I thought so. Have you had, we talk about your favorite night. How about worst night for the number 70?
Probably would have been Minot. Got just in a little, I got bumped in the rear, turned at the start-finish line, put it in the fence, destroyed the whole car. Had to take it all apart, and that was probably one of my rougher nights.
I would think too. You're out in Minot. You couldn't get any farther away from home.
Yeah,
and something like that. It's never going to happen up in Greenbush, or it's never going to happen up in Canada. But always seems like it happens when you're the farthest away and hardest to get the help and parts and everything you need, isn't it?
Yeah, it always works out like that. You can be 2 minutes from home, nothing can go wrong, and race 2 years like that. Then you come south, and then first night, everything go wrong. Truck and brake, trailer will break, generator will break, everything will just go to hell.
So what all can you bring with you on the road as far as spares? I mean, you see some of the high dollar teams might have a whole spare car in their hauler, but most people can't afford that. What all can you bring with you, and what do you have in yours?
I got spares, uppers, lowers, transmission, brake calipers, body, drive shaft, bunch of aluminum, spring steel, all that kind of stuff, just to kind of patch some stuff back together. I got, for the most part, I can fix what I need to on a typical brake, but if like the nose bends in on itself, then I'm kind of hooped.
Right. Now, the weather we had yesterday, I couldn't imagine you guys. I know there was a lot of stuff on social media regarding Forks Karting Association. There were people that thought it was dangerous and not safe to be racing because it's too hot out. I don't know. I'm just going to throw this out there. To me, that just seems like that's a few parents that don't want to go out in the heat, because that's trying to tell your kid, I don't think we should go racing. It's too hot. What do you think that kid's going to say if they're really into racing? But I couldn't imagine wearing the gear that you guys wear. Just think if it was 100 degrees, because last night it was 98 and my phone said feels like 103. So the humidity was up there, but that has got to be miserable in a car.
Yeah, it's not the most fun. The sitting in lineup is probably the worst.
Yep.
Where you're just sitting there, stagnant air, cars running, and it's just horrible. Once you get going, you kind of flick the visor up, get a little bit of fresh air going, flicker down, and then it's kind of back of the mind, and don't worry about it too much.
Wow. So now tonight you're going to Ada. Do you guys come back to Grand Forks tonight then, and then be ready for tomorrow, or do you spend the night there? How does that work?
I think we'll hang out there for a bit and then load up and then come back. It's about a 45-minute drive.
It's not too
so
bad.
It's not terrible. So yeah, we'll load up, come back here, and then unload in the morning and just kind of maintenance the cars and go again.
Always wondering what these guys are talking about back there. You see their hands going and they're pointing and they're doing all kinds of stuff. I think you're just waiting to get over across the hall.
Yeah.
You guys got lunch plans?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I figured you did.
See where Brad takes us today.
Okay. Is like a surprise before the races every week or what?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I kind of know where his hangouts are, his haunts are, so maybe I'll meet you guys there. Did we miss out on anything? Because I know Brad's going to be going, come on, talk some more here, but did we miss out on anything?
No, I think you got to hit them all, yeah.
You're not, I think the only time we've talked to you, you stopped in for a minute at the fair gig.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, but this stuff doesn't bother you? No nerves, nothing like that?
No, not really. Just kind of just BSing back and forth, right? So it's just kind of normal.
You try to tell that to people. It's just all we're doing is BSing back and forth, and yeah, it gets a little warm in here with the lights and the cameras and all that stuff. But wishing you well tonight. Be watching for him, you guys. The number 70. What are you pointing at now? Let's see. Oh, okay. All right. I thought maybe he was texting something up there. He's got that look. Anyway, thank you, Jesse, for coming in. And thanks to all our sponsors again. And thank you to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino, where I'm guessing these guys, maybe they'll go there for lunch. We'll see. BT, Scotty's working over there today, Jake and all the crew, and me forgetting now to turn my camera on. Stop over to Rumor Sports Bar and Casino. In fact, their their lunch special tonight from 5 to 11, sandwich and a side for $7. They've got the $6 express lunches. Try to go anywhere else and eat lunch for $6. You can't even do that at fast food places, all right? Have yourself a beer, do a little gambling. They got the world-famous beer tower there. Rumor Sports Bar and Casino, they just added another bus, too. So any concerts, any hockey games, football games, Rumor Sports Bar and Casino is the place to go. Oh, boy, I tell you what, the best sports podcast around is called Forks Sports Highway. And we are fortunate enough to have it on Grand Forks Best Source Thursday nights at 6:30. In fact, K-Fan picked it up last Saturday. Pretty cool thing. I'll catch you tomorrow morning. Have yourself a great day, everybody. And remember to like, share, tag, and follow us, all right? If you hit that notification bell on your smartphone, that way it dings every time we go on. You'll never miss a show. Grand Cities, they're here. They're awesome. Grand Forks Best Source is giving them an identity again.